for joining me for your November 2018 Astro Tarot forecast. I am shuffling the Haunted House Tarot that I used in my most recent upload for the Psychic Tarot readings. It's by Sasha Graham. Super creepy, perfect for Halloween. I'm wishing you all a beautiful Halloween and a great Thanksgiving ahead. Let's get to our forecast. There's a lot going on. On the 7th of November, we have our new moon at 15 degrees of Scorpio in your health sector, in your work and maintenance and service sector. So there is a fresh new start to how Gemini is being productive in the world. And should you require an easier pace at work or a better route to schedule your life, your errands, and going to work, what you do after work, picking up children, your route, it feels like there's a fresh start available to Gemini in handling their tasks, because that's what this 6th house is. And also a new health routine or regimen or commitment, a new diet plan, a new plan of action for the betterment of your health is what's necessary. On the 8th, Jupiter moves into the sign of Sagittarius. He spent the last year in Scorpio, so he will be in the sign opposite you, filtering positive energy across the wheel to you. He has no choice but to expand Gemini through December 12th of 2019. But this is your partnership sector and soulmate sector. This is your marriage. This is luck in meeting the right person. I feel like Gemini is going to be expanding what works for them in terms of marriage and the connection to your business partnerships as well as your private relationship. There is a positivity and a hopefulness in Gemini's 7th house. So if marriage hasn't been smooth, give it some time. Your ruling planet will retrograde this month on the 16th through the 6th of December at 13 degrees of this sector of Sagittarius. So allow some time before Jupiter can work his magic, because Mercury retrograding in the 7th house reminds us of what works and what doesn't work in our existing partnerships or marriage. And it's a mental review. There's an analyzation and almost internal note-taking that Gemini is doing. Your ruling planet affects you when it retrogrades in a big way, and I feel like you are assessing what works in this relationship and what doesn't. And then when Mercury goes direct, you can gain that positivity accordingly, because Jupiter will be there to assist this sector for the full year and 3 weeks. I skipped a little bit of a transit. On the 15th, Mars enters Pisces through the very last day of December, the 31st. This is stamina and energy in the career sector for Gemini and Gemini rising. Please watch your ascendant sign as well as your moon sign for a full dose of the cosmos. Mars is action, inspiration, passion, and desire to achieve in the 10th house of career. Gemini's going up the ladder. Also, men that you report to, if you don't work for yourself, there's a lot of energy around the men in your work environment. Tread lightly in this retrograde. Bite your tongue if someone feels a little too controlling. You know that Gemini can express themselves effortlessly, sometimes a little too much. So with Mars in the 10th house, there could be a feeling of limitation or repression in the career, or too much, a little bit of resentment or anger stirring up here. Just give this time for the dust to settle a little bit. I feel like career will be much smoother for you when Mercury's direct and when Mars pushes through halfway through this transit. I think you can rely on business partnership to be better and people believing and investing in you to be a little bit better here. On the 22nd, our Sun moves into Sagittarius, where Jupiter and our Mercury retrograde exists. So it's all about your connection, your relationship, the spouse, the desire to be committed or married. Not committed into a mental institution, but committed on paper, legally. On the 23rd, this is your full moon, 0 degrees of Gemini. This full moon on the 21st, closure for Gemini, closing the door on marriages that don't work. Some of you have given a marriage a really good fight and chance, and Jupiter in this sector could be about a new relationship for you and you being happier out of the old and into the new. Let's see what shows up in your tarot. I'm curious to see if the cards here resonate with the cards that I uploaded recently this week. For Gemini, Gemini rising and Gemini moon, if you'd like a private session with me, consider booking with me. It's one of the things I do best. I'm at audreyalison.com. Jenny, the sun. It's going to be okay. And this is the card of marriage. If there's a 7th house card in the tarot, it's the sun. Marriage, warmth, security, accomplishment, success, 10th house. Here's the 6 of Swords. There might be some travel coming up for Gemini, and removing yourself from your location that you're used to can always give a clearer perspective. 6 of Cups. This is Mercury retrograde, bringing in some nostalgic, emotional communication from someone from the past. Also, you could feel a little bit of that, reminded by little deja vu when the 6 of Cups appears. It's reconnecting your emotional self to what once was. But keep in mind, none of that exists anymore. The past isn't your reality in the current moment. So don't get too lost in the nostalgia. The Knight of Wands, more relocation, getting moving, travel, keeping up your physical active energy. And you might be inspired to relocate or to go to a place that it reminds you of something, or you've always been inspired to go. There is a romantic interest from the past that I think is coming up into Gemini's life. Now, you have free will. You don't have to answer that phone call. You don't have to go, oh, I don't want to meet someone that I already knew. Fine, then don't. There's always the opportunity, though, especially when your ruling planet retrogrades 3 times a year, 21 days at a time. I hope this was helpful for you. I am wishing you a beautiful Thanksgiving. There's so much to be grateful for, Gemini. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.